How often do you get distracted? Something you're focused on that's important to you, and then something takes you off track. Could be anything. You know, I find that getting focused is not really a big deal. It's staying focused. It's like New Year's Eve. You know, people get so excited on December 31st because they're thinking a new year. But very few people actually stay focused after they get focused. It's like checking out a book at a library or getting a book and you don't read it, or you get an online course and you don't follow through and execute it. I do a lot of speaking for corporations and people get so excited and then Monday morning they go back right to where they were before. I don't really think the problem is getting focused. I think it's staying focused over the long term. So if you're like me, how do you do it? How do you do both of these things? Well, you go on the internet and you see what they have to say. And this is what they say. Number one, get good sleep. Number two, get out in nature. Number three, exercise, listen to music, take breaks. Make sure your area is not cluttered. Make sure that you're not taking in too much caffeine, that you're eating well, that you're drinking enough fluid, that you're offline when you're supposed to be focused. And here's the last one. Have a to-do list. Now, who has time for all of that? I mean, that's a lot of things to do. And so what happens is people go online and they get all excited, I'm going to get focused, how am I going to stay focused? And they try to do all of these things, and then they fail. What if there was an easier way? What if there was a simpler way to get focused and stay focused? So within this hour, I promise you, you are going to learn, guaranteed, how to get focused and stay focused. And it's going to be easy, and it's going to be effortless. I wish you were with me. It was December 25th, 1972. I just turned 10 years old. I was born on December 25th, Christmas baby. And I'm at my grandparents' house, and there's a lot of people, a big Italian family. Everybody's talking at the same time. There's a lot of distractions. People are eating, drinking, smoking, laughing. It was a wonderful time. As a 10-year-old, you know, it was a magical time. All of a sudden, my Uncle Victor picks up a quarter, and he puts it in his hand, and it was gone. And with it, all of the noise and all of the distractions went away as well. And I said, I can still remember it, I said, Vic, where did that go? That's amazing. Greg, can you keep a secret? Yes, I can keep a secret, tell me. So can I, Greg. So I told him, I said, look, this is my birthday, I'm 10 years old. You gotta tell me. He wouldn't tell me. Finally, at the end of the night, he told me how he did. And that changed my life. In fact, I would not be here today if it wasn't for what happened then. And that was the night that he introduced me to misdirection. Now, rather than me telling you, I'd like to show you. So bring your hand out like this, close your fist, just like me, and bring one finger up, just like that. Okay, let's start over. That's your thumb, not your finger. That's misdirection. Let's do this. Make a circle. Make a circle with your forefinger and your thumb, just like this, pretty simple. Put it right next to your ear, right here, and then put it on your chin. This is your chin if you didn't know, right? So let's do this one, misdirection. Take your hands like this, take your left, and bring it over the right. So you're going to take your...
I saw this, like, I couldn't do it. Okay, all right,
all right,
okay.
You with me?
Okay, wait.
Okay, all right.
Wait,
so
left
you got
over
the
right.
left. You got the left. You're going to bring it right over the right. It's pretty simple. Now, if you can do this, not everybody can do this. What you'll do is you'll bring your hands down like this. You'll hold it really tight. So you're going to grip it tight. Now, if you're doing it, let's start over.
Yeah.
We're going to have you catch up with us.
I can do it.
You can do it. I know you can do it.
Okay.
Left over the right.
Yeah.
And then bring your hands down. Bring your hands down. Yeah, there you go. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. And hold it really tight. So you got them all in. Now, if you're doing it correctly, the pinkies are at the top. And the thumbs are at the bottom.
They are.
All right, good. Everybody with me? Mm-hmm. Now, don't hurt yourself, but just follow me. Ready?
You just twist it and it comes in, and I can't.
Just like that.
Wow.
Misdirection. Misdirection.
I watched it in slow-mo, it was making me crazy.
So last January, I was at the MGM in Vegas. David Copperfield was on stage, and your first name is Margaret.
Yeah.
Margaret was where I was seated. I was right there. David Copperfield was like this far away from me. David walks out on stage with nothing in his hands, and he does this. Now I'm going to show you this so you know how I did it, but you have to promise that you can keep a secret and that you don't share it. Now you can show somebody, but just don't show them how I did it. Does everybody agree with that? All right. So left over the right. Left over the right. And then you bring your hands down like this.
Thumbs down, pinkies up. Okay.
Good. Now what I did, spoiler alert, is I said, if you're doing it right, your pinkies are at the top. That's what I said.
Were they?
Yes, mine are at the top and you're at the top.
Beforehand.
And then I said what?
Watch me, follow me.
I said this.
Do what I do.
I said this. I said your thumbs are at the bottom.
Okay.
And I went like this. And then I went like this.
Oh.
Wait,
Did you really?
I did, but you didn't see it because misdirection.
But I watched it on video.
Misdirection.
I watched this guy on video.
Well, you're watching me live, and this is what misdirection taught me when I was 10 years old, 1972. This is the one thing that she taught me. The conscious mind is easily distracted. That's what I learned from misdirection. So I want to show you again, but this time we're going to do it slowly, and when I let go, I want you to notice that. Okay? You all with me? All right. Take your hands like this, cross left over the right, and then switch them around, hold it really tight. The pinky should be at the top. Now this is where I let go, Margaret. But I don't have to.
You sure you did?
I don't have to.
You didn't let go.
man.
You didn't let go.
Misdirection. Misdirection.
Yeah,
Yes.
he went, instead of going left to right, he...
Misdirection. So here's what I learned from her. This is what I learned from her. The conscious mind is easily distracted. So if misdirection had a sidekick, a boyfriend, his name would be multitasking.
Yeah.
Multitasking is an illusion. We can't multitask.
Okay, I
Especially
just went over
if it's
this with
important.
someone.
If it's important, don't multitask. Let me give you some statistics. When people get behind the wheel and they multitask and they look at their phone, in America, in 12 months, 400,000 people get hurt just because they look down at their cell phone at the wrong time. Sadly, when people get behind the wheel and drive the car and they multitask, 4,000 people die just because they look down at their cell phone at the wrong time. The average person picks up their phone and they tap it, they swipe it, and they click it over 2,000 times a day. The number is actually 2,600 a day. In businesses, I do a lot of speaking for businesses, the average person that goes to work, they waste 12 and a half hours every week because they're tapping, swiping, and clicking, and they're not engaged in their job. They're not engaged with what they're doing. We'll hold questions to the end.
Okay.
So we don't want to be distracted. Don't worry about it. I'll send you the video. I'll send you the video.
Okay.
So this is the epidemic with people today, especially people who are all over the place. Their attention span is very small. So it'd be like this. Tell me your first name.
Lauren.
Lauren. If I'm having a conversation with Lauren, I can only see her if I'm really focused on her. Like I can't see him. Over here, I really can't see much. So if I'm looking at Lauren and I'm talking to her, if she's the most important thing to me at the time, customer service or whatever you're doing, I don't want to be looking at my watch because it gives an indication to you that you're not important. Or if I look at my phone or I do something else. And this is how we're raising a generation of people. They're trying to do too many things. They're talking here. One time I went to a restaurant, the person was talking to their phone and they were trying to check me in at the same time. It shows a lot of disrespect. So this is what I learned about all of the research that I've done. If it's really important, do not multitask. So every one of you wrote down something on that card. If that's important to you, when you're focused on that, don't try to do too many things at the same time, because you're going to fail. The conscious mind is easily distracted. So it's like if I'm looking over here, I can't look over here. So here's an illustration. Put your foot out like that, just like this, and you're going to make a clockwise motion. You're going to put your foot at 7 o'clock, going to bring it up to 12, and bring it right around, going around clockwise. Now at the same time, keep on doing that. At the same time that you're doing that, take your right hand and point your finger up in the air. So you've got your foot going around clockwise, and you got your finger up in the air. Now, keep your foot going around clockwise, but then move your finger counterclockwise and see what happens. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, you're like going.
What?
So here's what I want to say about multitasking. If it's important to you, don't multitask, especially driving. 400,000 people every year get hurt behind the wheel. And sadly, 4,000 people die. Now, if misdirection and multitask had a family, that baby's name would be overwhelm. So George Miller wrote a paper many years ago called The Magical Number of 7. How many? 7. What he said was this: billions of things are going on at the same time in the room. You can't focus on everything. Can't. It's impossible. You can only focus on about 10, 5, 7. Actually, the number is 7. That's why he wrote the paper, The Magical Number of 7. Give or take 2. So it could be 5, it could be 9. But you can't focus on everything. It's completely impossible. The more we try to, the more we get overwhelmed. If you've known in the last couple of years people that have been really stressed out, it's because they're trying to do too many things. Have you seen this on the internet called the monkey business illusion? Anybody? All right, spoiler alert. This is, you can look it up later. They have 2 teams. They have a black team, all wearing black like me. They have another team over here, all wearing white. And they say it's really simple. All you have to do is count how many times the black team passes the basketball. That's it.
I've seen it.
Spoiler alert, 16. Did you do it?
I've seen other examples where it's like find the gorilla.
Yes, that's why it's called the monkey business illusion. So while you're counting the passes of the team that's wearing black, there's another team over here wearing white, and they're doing the same thing, but you're focused over here. In the middle of it, this guy walks out in a gorilla suit, beats his breast, and walks off the stage, and only 50% of the audience.
God, how many were?
Well, they were counting the number 16. They're like, oh yeah, it was 16. And they said, okay, did you see the gorilla? Only 50% of the people saw the gorilla because they were so focused over.
So that's good, right.
They were focused over here. So I don't have a gorilla, but it'd be like this. Let's say we looked around for 7 things in the room that were red. We could do it. And then if we looked around for 7 things in the room that were blue, we could do it. However, then if I said to you, I want you to look around the room for another 7 things that are red and another 7 things that are blue, eventually you couldn't keep up with it. You would be overwhelmed. So back to the monkey business illusion. I don't know if you've seen this, but they brought the group back in. They said, all right, we fooled you with the gorilla. This time look for the gorilla. So the team's over here that's black, the team's over here that's white. They're passing the basketball. People are counting, but they say, make sure you see the gorilla. Everybody, make sure you see the gorilla. So then they shut the video off, and then they asked the people, did you see the gorilla? Everybody saw the gorilla. And then they asked this question. Did you notice that the curtain changed from red to something like blue? Nobody noticed the change of the color at all. Did you notice that one person walked off the team and left the game? Nobody did. So what I learned from 1972 and what I learned from my uncle is that the conscious mind is easily distracted. The next thing I learned was from my mom, and I didn't want to learn it, and we'd sit there watching television and she would roll her eyes. And I go, Mom, what are you rolling your eyes for? She said, Greg, be careful what you expose your mind to. We would watch television, there would be movie trailers, The Exorcist, all these evil things, and she'd say, be careful who you hang around, be careful what music you listen to, be careful what you expose your mind to. And I'm like, Mom, why? She says this, you have to understand that your unconscious mind is easily conditioned. Now, I was like a little kid, I was like 8. I'm like, Mom, no, I don't want to hear this stuff. She would tell me, your unconscious mind is easily conditioned. Come to find out, I realized that she was right. Now this has been off the air for years. Don't squeeze the Charmin. It's been off the air for years. You deserve a break today at McDonald's. Where is the beef? So commercials run these things over and over again so that we see it, we hear it, we feel it, and it impacts our unconscious mind. So my mom was right. The best example, the one that I love the most, is a movie called Groundhog Day. Bill Murray. Phil Connors, he's full of himself. Think of a triangle. At the top of the triangle is me, 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 me. It's all about him. Wakes up in the morning in Pennsylvania, the alarm goes off, it's Sonny and Cher, I got you, babe. I won't sing the rest, but it starts playing, he gets up, rise and shine campers, and don't forget your booties because it's cold outside. It's Groundhog Day. Gets up, walks right over to the window, he sees everybody going to Nobbler Hill. Why? It's Groundhog Day. If you've seen the movie, the next day, the alarm goes off, I got you, babe. Rise and shine campers. And don't forget your booties, because it's cold outside. It's Groundhog Day. He wakes up, what does he say? They're playing yesterday's track. What he doesn't realize is he's playing yesterday's track. So the next day is the same. The next day is the same. We don't even know how long. 2 years, 10 years, 100 years. We have no idea. People who study this will blow you away. Say that we have 45 to 55,000 thoughts every day. Actually, the number is 45 to 65,000 thoughts every day. So what's today? Thursday? So today, 45 to 65,000 thoughts that you have. Tomorrow, you're going to have the same thoughts, 90% of them. Your life, Groundhog Day. Now let that sink in for a minute. They're playing yesterday's track. We have 45 to 65,000 thoughts every single day. 90% of them are the same. I won't repeat it, but that's, when I read that, when I started researching this, it gets even deeper. The people that really get into neuroscience say that anywhere from 43 to 48% of our behavior, what we think, what we say, and what we do is habitual. Now, I don't know if it's 43, I don't know if it's 48, I don't know, but it's almost 50%. Almost 50% of how we live our life, our thoughts, our words, and our actions, is habitual. We wear the same clothes, we see the same people, we visit people the same, we take the same routes to work. This is conditioning. So when my mom told me this when I was a kid, I didn't believe it, I resisted it. She said, your unconscious mind is being conditioned. So while I'm saying this, you're probably thinking to yourself things that you do, like what you did yesterday, what you're going to do tomorrow, how you repeat things over and over and over again. So let's do this. I'd like you to think of two different geometric shapes, one inside the other. Not like a square, because everybody thinks of a square. And then in the middle of it, I'd like you to place a number and then make the two shapes two different colors. Now raise your hand if the circle came to mind or triangle. Raise your hand. Nobody?
I'm still thinking about what I want to do.
And then if the number 7 came to mind, and if the red or blue came to mind. Now here's the reason why I bring this up. When every one of you came in, I gave you a card. What was on the front? A circle
with
and a triangle. And then on the other side of it was blue, and it was 7, and it was red. And if you remember when I came out, I asked you to make a circle. I asked you to put your foot at 7 and make a circle. I also did this when I talked about Phil Connors and how at the top of the triangle. So all of these things, the blue color, the red, the 7, the triangle, the circle, have all been in the lecture since the beginning to program or to condition you, to show you how easy it is to have your unconscious mind conditioned. You are conditioned. Your childhood, the people you hang around, the things that you expose yourself have conditioned your mind. So from 1999 to 2019, I struggled tremendously in business. I read all the books. I went to all the seminars. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars in personal growth, going to seminars and having mentors and coaches. I struggled for 20 years, 1999 to 2019. And the reason why I struggled, looking back at it, is that I focused on my conscious mind. I focused on making changes in my conscious mind. Just like Phil Connors in the movie. He tries to change, but he can't change because what's driving him is his beliefs, his values, his worldview, and his identity. Once all of that changes, everything else changes. So for me, I struggled for 20 years, 2 decades. I would make money, then I'd lose money. I'd go on a business venture and it would work out, and sometimes it wouldn't work out. I was successful, then I wasn't successful. And then one day, everything changed. I got a phone call to speak in Vegas, and I took the opportunity. And I went out to Vegas to give a lecture. There was a room, about 25 people in the room. And after the lecture was over, I was invited to a party. And this party was made up of business people in Vegas and also entertainers. And I was glad to be there. And I met this guy by the name of Kenton. And I was attracted to his success. And I said to him, would you mentor me? Would you coach me? And he agreed to it. So I paid him a ridiculous amount of money. And I actually moved into his house for 2 days. We worked around the clock. And I said to him, the first time we sat down and got serious about business and my personal life, I says, tell me, how come you're so successful? And he looked at me and he said, Greg, can you keep a secret? I said, why would you ask me that? He said, I need to know, can you keep a secret? I said, yeah. You need to learn how to condition your unconscious mind.
You're not keeping a secret.
That's it, I said? That's it? He goes, yeah. I said, well, how do you do that? Reflection. I said, you're telling me this is a secret? He goes, yes, it is a secret, and the reason why it is a secret is because most people won't do it. Now, you're here today, you're not most people, so I'm going to share it with you. But this is what he said to me. You need to learn how to condition your unconscious mind through reflection by what you see, what you feel, and what you hear. And so in the next 2 days, we worked one-on-one, and it literally changed my life. Back then, I was exposed to the fact that the conscious mind is easily distracted. And then my mom was able to show me that the unconscious mind is conditioned. But it wasn't until I met Kenton that he actually showed me how to condition my mind. So now, I travel the world. COVID, not so much, but I've been all over Europe. I've spoken in Vegas, I've spoken in the UK, I've traveled all the way through Europe. I don't work a 9 to 5, I have my own life. Financially, things are well, except obviously for the stock market and the 401ks, but some things you just can't control. But everything shifted when I stopped focusing on my conscious mind and started focusing on my unconscious mind. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you so that you have these techniques, so that you just don't walk away and say, oh, that was interesting, I liked it, it was entertaining, it was fun, it was magical, but you actually have something that you could use to get what you wrote down on that card. You all for it? All right, so take your hands like this and rub your hands together like this. Why don't we do this? Everybody stand up. Rub your hands together. Now the first thing is visualization. It's what you see. It's what you see. So rub your hands together like this and then hold your hands out like this and imagine that there's a ball of white energy between your hands. And one hand is the conscious mind, the other hand is the unconscious. So you have your conscious and your unconscious. And in the middle is white light. Now rub your hands again. Now, this is being like a child. This is like being a kid. This is using your imagination and using your visualization. It's not about overthinking. It's about having fun and believing. Now, feel that ball, that white ball in between. Now, the reason why I asked you to put a word down on a piece of paper is I want you to insert that word in the center of that white ball. And the minute you do it, that white ball is going to turn gold. So now see it going from white to gold. And the word that you wrote down is in the middle. Visualize. See it. Believe it. Margaret, pass me your ball. Here, catch it. Is it God? Is that what you wrote down? Okay, good. Do it again. Now, believe that a magnet is bringing your fingers together. And that your conscious mind and your unconscious mind are working together to bring you God, or happiness, or love, whatever you wrote down. You're using your imagination because you feel a magnetic pull between your two hands. And this is an indication of your conscious and your unconscious working together. They're coming closer and closer and closer together because what you want wants you, and that there's a pull. And this is an indication that your unconscious mind is actually cooperating with your conscious mind. And as they come together, your fingers are going to interlock, just like mine. And eventually your palms are going to come together. And this is you integrating what you wrote down. And then your hands are going to become locked. Because what you want is not just on the piece of paper, it's inside of you. Deep inside of you. Now imagine, if you will, that not only is a magnet holding your fingers and your palms together, but also imagine that glue is holding them together. And they're at a point where they will not come apart. I'm going to count to 3. When I hit 3, I'm going to ask you to try to open your hands. But because the magnetic pull in the glue, you won't be able to. 1, 2, 3. Try to do it. You'll struggle, but you'll see that the both are clung together in such a way that you can't do it. Now I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Open your hands. Open your hands. So that's visualization. People who know how to reflect in a visual way are able to condition their unconscious mind. So everybody have a seat except for you. Come on up. Stand right over here. You did it really well. So bring your hands together like this, just like me, face me, and bring your hands together like this. Think about what you were thinking about and whatever you wrote down. I know you wanted to change your mind, but focus on the thing that you wrote down. And your hands are together. Now, do this. Bring your 2 fingers up. One represents your conscious mind, the other one represents your unconscious mind. You'll notice that they're coming together like a magnetic pull. Closer and closer and closer, just like mine. See how mine are coming together? And they're just, actually mine are actually touching. You'll find that the pull is so powerful that your 2 fingers will come together. And it's almost like that magnetic pull that you experienced earlier is with you. Now, 3, 2, 1, open your hands. Simple. It's so simple. What Kenton taught me is that successful people, they know what they want and they visualize it. Not just on New Year's Eve, but every single day. They see it in their mind. Okay, face the audience. So the other thing they do is they feel it. They feel it. So think about what you wrote down. And the easiest way to feel something, and I know you wanted to take notes, is to write something down. So I'm going to give you this. And I'm also going to give you a card with a clock on it. right there it says circle a number. So 12 o'clock all the way through 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7. You don't have to pick 7. But what I'd like you to do is just circle a number without anybody seeing it, including me. And then if you're done, so that I know that you're done, just put the pen on the table. Great, and then just hand me the card face down. So this is a true story. People write down New Year's resolutions. When do they do it? Normally they do it New Year's Eve. However, people who have written goals every single day, they see it and they drive it into their unconscious mind by how they're feeling when they write it down. This is a true story. You can look this up. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. The very first time they met, they sat down at a table, and somebody came over to them and they said, here's a card, here's a card. I want you to write down a word that represents how come you're so successful. So they wrote down a word, he wrote down a word, he wrote down a word. Then 2 minutes later, they turned, now these people didn't even talk to each other. They turned over the cards, and you can Google this later, and the word was focus. So when I heard this, I said, you know, this can't be the first time that they thought of this. This can't be the first time that they wrote this word down. They must have thought about this before. So what Kenton told me is that if you want to be successful, you have to condition your unconscious mind by what you see and what you feel. And one of the easiest ways is to have written goals, not just once in a while, but all the time, over and over again. Now there's another experiment that I can show you that is a glimpse into the unconscious mind. Which hand is dominant, the left or the right?
Right.
Okay, so you're going to hold it out like that. Now, we're going to notice a little bit of change here. I'm going to get mine as well. Here, I'll give you the better one. This one's a lot nicer. So, all I want you to do is think of a circle. So, just think of a circle and watch what happens to her watch. Just think of a circle and just imagine a circle. Just imagine it. And see what happens. Now, you're going to actually move it in a circle because you're thinking of the circle. Okay? It's kind of going into a circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So this is really strange. Let's do this. Think of a grandfather clock. So in other words, I'm going to go like this, and this is exaggerated. That's exaggerated. But now I want you to just think of a grandfather clock and just see how it goes. This is a reflection into the unconscious mind. Because you're not doing this consciously, are you? She's not. Like, I didn't talk to you before. There's no magnets, there's no strings. I didn't say to her, now I want you to move it. Either think of the circle or think of the grandfather clock, and let's see if we can pick it up. Now I'm gonna do the same and see if I can. Is it grandfather? Okay. So this is a reflection into the unconscious mind. So when you can get your conscious and your unconscious mind working together, you can actually condition it. Now, at this point, you probably forgot about what you wrote down as far as the number, because I wanted to distract her of the number that you wrote down.
Yeah.
Is that the number you wrote down?
Yeah.
What's the number you wrote down?
7.
Wrote down 7.
No, you did do 7.
7 o'clock. Give her a hand. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. So the third is really simple. You see it, you feel it, and then lastly, you hear it. Tell me your name again.
Laurel.
Come on up.
So I got Lauren and Laurel.
Alrighty. If you could stand right here, and I want you to think about what you wrote down on that card over there, so face the audience, and I want you to imagine there's a circle right here. right here. So I'd like you to step into this circle, and that is a happiness circle. All right, so how do you feel now?
I felt happy immediately.
Okay, amazing. So,
Just because I love that word.
yes, okay. You didn't write down
That was
happiness,
kind
did
of
you?
funny.
Did you write that
I
down?
did not.
Okay, good, good. All right. So think about what you wrote down, and then step out of the circle. Just step back. I created this deck of cards called the Focus deck. You can't buy them, they're not for sale, but if you take a look at them, every single card has an affirmation on them. So just take a look at them, fan through them, and find one that you love. So there's 52.
Oh,
Which one do you like?
this one.
Okay, good. So hold on to it and give me the rest.
Okay.
All right, so now I want you to say it out loud. What is it?
Be grateful.
Vote for what you have, and life will give you more. So I memorized every deck, every card. Is that what you have? Be grateful for what you have?
Actually, I didn't even, yeah.
Yes. So I memorized every single card. Be grateful for what you have, and life will give you more. Now step into the circle and say that out loud.
Be grateful of what you have, and life will bring you more.
Now think about what you wrote down. On a scale to 1 to 10, 10 being you absolutely know with all certainty you're going to get it, and 1 being you're not really sure, how do you feel after you say that out loud? Say it out loud again.
Be grateful of what you have, and
Life will give you more. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like you're really certain that what you wrote down on that card is going to come true in your life, or it's never going to come true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What are you? Give me a number.
On that
1, 2,
word.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pick a number. What are you, a 5, a 10, a 9? You're a 5. So she's a 5. Step outside the circle. Let's see if we can stack the deck. All right. Now say this card and step into the circle out loud. What does it say?
Do you want me to step into my
Yeah,
happiness
set your circle and say that out loud.
Be proud of yourself.
Be proud of yourself. Now think about what you want on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you're never going to get it. 10 being it's going to happen immediately. Where are you? Are you a 5 or lower or higher?
Maybe a 6.
Okay, great. Step back outside. So what we're doing is we're simply working with the auditory. Here's another one. What's it say?
Think as if you,
You
have what you desire.
All right, now that's a perfect one. Step inside the circle, say that out loud.
Think as if you have got what you desire.
Now what are you? Do you believe what you're reading, or do you believe it's not true?
Think as if you have got what you desire. Well, I don't have. Okay.
But think as if you did, Dorothy. You can go home anytime you want.
It's a really hard word, so I don't know.
But how do you feel? You want another card?
I feel frustrated by that word, so I
All right, let's give you another one.
I don't.
I'll give you another one. That's fine. Yeah, we'll give you this one.
Okay.
What does it say?
Make your passion your lifestyle.
Oh, that's my life. All right, now step into your circle. Say that out loud. How do you feel now?
Make your passion your lifestyle.
And you're smiling. See how she's smiling? And you're laughing. How do you feel now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I agree with this.
And how do you feel? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
How
10?
do I feel?
Just give me a number.
A 5.
Okay, you're back to 5. Step out the circle. Now we're going to do something really interesting. So, what were her numbers? 5? Did she get any higher than a 5? You went up to a 6? And did you go any further down than? Okay.
No.
All right. Now, I'd like you to pick a card without you thinking of it consciously. In other words, you're going to select a card. You're not going to look at it because we don't need it right now. So you're just going to pick any card you want and then hand me the deck and the card. But just let your unconscious mind find the card. So just pick
All
one.
my unconscious.
Yeah, so I just need the card. So we're not going to look at it now because it's not necessary. And then I'll have you stand over here. Now this circle is a little different. Imagine there's a circle over here, and it is a sad circle. So step inside of it.
I don't want to.
You're going to ruin it if you laugh. So now I want you to think of something sad that happened, but not traumatic, but just a sad event that may have happened in your life. Now step back out. How do you feel now?
Glad that I'm out of the
Yes,
circle.
okay. So now step back in the circle and think about what you want over there and tell me on a scale to 1 to 10 where you are at.
Oh, interesting.
What are you at? Give me a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Maybe a 6 again.
Okay, okay.
I picked a hard one.
Oh, that's
For me.
fine. Okay, that's fine, so step back out. Let's do this.
Interesting.
I want you to think about what you want, and I'll give you the lock. I will give you this key. Step into the circle, and
Sad circle?
yeah, the sad circle, and you're going to attempt to open the lock, but you're going to be frustrated because the key doesn't work.
Ah.
Now, how do you feel? Right, give me a number. 4,
A
3,
4.
2, 1.
Of
Are you
being
that
pissed?
bad? Yeah,
No, 2.
you're a 2. All right, step back out.
Because
We do this to ourselves every day. We put ourselves into a hypnotic trance every day by what we say to ourselves, what we feel, and what we hear. She is a great hypnotist. Here's another key.
Oh.
Step into the circle of sadness and try that key.
Okay.
And tell me how you feel.
Oh, you gotta be happy because it's gonna work, right?
No, it's not.
Oh,
All right, how do you feel? Are you a 1?
oh no, it's worse.
Okay, it's worse. Good. Thank you for being honest. Step out of the circle. So this is what we do.
Because I thought it was gonna
We do this to ourselves. Now, remember what I said to you. We have 45 to 65,000 thoughts every single day. 90% of them are the same. My mom was correct. We condition ourselves. 43 to 48% of what we think, say, and do is habitual. I didn't do this to her. She did it to herself. What we see, what we feel, what we hear makes all the difference in the world. So try another key. Yes, you will in a minute.
Whatever key.
Try any key you want. Any key. I want to let you know that it doesn't open on the 3rd, doesn't open on the 4th, it doesn't open on the 5th.
Unless you have some remote control.
No, not at
It's
all.
not
No
gonna-
mirrors, no smoke, no strings.
Alright. No, it's not gonna open.
Good. Now I want you to step over here, and I will give you the key that opens it.
Oh, yeah, right.
I will. This is the only key that opens the lock. So I'm going to give you 2 things. I'm going to give you a key, and I'm going to give you the card that you picked. So you got to keep both of them private to yourself. So that's the key that opens it. Keep that separate.
I got it.
And then this is the card that she selected. Keep that private so no one sees it. That has to be a secret. Now step into your happiness circle. Say it to yourself, but not out loud as a mantra. So now step into the circle
Happiness.
and say that to yourself inside your head, and then use the key that works and open the lock.
Look at the card now.
Oh, you need to say that. That's your mantra. Say it to yourself, not out loud, inside your head. Inside your head, say those words. If it's a long or short, then use the key to open the lock. Excellent. Now, how do you feel overall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How do you feel?
A 7.
Excellent. So now, see what we've done? We brought her from a 5 to a 6. Now she's a 7.
Just because of the card. I
Just
knew
because of the
were-
card and what she said to herself and the hearing of the lock and everything, what she sees, what she hears, what she feels. Drop all the keys in here. All 3 keys.
Together.
All 3.
There's 3.
1, 2, 3, and then lock the lock. Lock the lock. Face your audience. Face your audience. Hold the lock. Face your...
Key, locks.
Focus, focus.
Hold the locks.
Yes. Now face the audience. Say the mantra to yourself. And step into your circle. How do you feel?
Confused.
Good.
And
If you were to
Intrigued.
pick one key to open the lock, do you think you could do it? Face your
one in-
audience. Face
1 in
your-
3 chance.
Yes. So watch what we're doing here. Just speak just like me. Face the audience. You're in your happiness room. There's 3 keys here, and you're saying to yourself that card, whatever it says. What are you saying to yourself What are you saying to yourself as far as picking the right key and opening the lock? Do you see it happening? Do you hear it opening? And what are you feeling?
I'm feeling confident.
Good. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you feel?
Like an 8.
Good. So what Kenton showed me in 2 days, I'm showing you the cliff notes. The conscious mind is easily distracted. Easily distracted. Our unconscious mind is completely conditioned. Successful people know how to condition their unconscious mind by what they see, what they feel, and what they hear ahead of time. They see it before it happens, and then they make it a reality. Pick a key.
There's still 3 in here? Okay.
There's 3, yeah?
I'll go with the one that I...
All right, there's 2 left. How do you feel about this? Do you believe that you can and will? Show the card. I can and I will. All right. Open the lock.
Can I put that in there? Or?
Open the lock.
Okay. Hey.
How do you feel now? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Surprised. Still an 8.
Okay, good. Give her a hand.
I
Give
feel
her a
good.
hand. Thank you. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. You did wonderful.
I'm like, whoop.
So at this time, I asked for questions because I'm looking at the time. I only have a few minutes. I usually take a few minutes. If you have any questions about what we covered. Anybody?
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead.
you want the arm trick figured out.
I'll send you the video. You can watch it 100
I
times.
did.
I saw David do it, and I met him afterwards, and we talked. So, any other questions besides the anything?
All right. Yeah. So we're coming down to the end. So
Yes.
you're saying every day
Yes.
what you want. It doesn't have to even be on this card. It could be something else also, because there were several
Written
thoughts
down.
in that.
Written down.
Write down.
Right.
Are you saying once a day, more than
Every
once a
day.
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
Write down what your goal is
Yes.
to focus better on.
Yes.
Focus more on.
Well, think about it. If we have 45 to 65,000 thoughts every day, and 43 to 48 is habitual, what most people are focusing on, can I tell you? What most people are focusing on is what they don't want. It's like the guy that shows up at the airport. He gets to the airport, the guy's holding a sign that says Greg Dwyer. The guy walks over and says, where do you want to go? He goes, I just want to get out of the airport. He goes, I know, but where do you want to go? He says, I hate airports. He goes, I know, but where do you want to go? Most people, because of fear, they focus on what they don't want, or they think that they can't achieve it. So successful people, what Kenton showed me and taught me, is they're able to condition their unconscious mind every single day. And what happens is it becomes a habit. So all of these cards, every single one of them I've memorized. For a reason. Because I'm rewiring my brain. 45 to 65,000 thoughts every single day. I stop at a red light, I can and I will. Never stop dreaming, stay positive, think successful. I know them all. So it didn't happen overnight, but over time, it does. What you see, what you feel, what you hear, you move towards. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody else? So I put all of this information on this. All of it. Kenton wrote an ebook on how to be focused and an exercise of daily focus. It's on this. So what this is, it's a piece of plastic like a loyalty card, but on the back there's a website and you put in a code and all of the downloads. There's an audio download of every single card affirmation on here. There's also Kenton's presentation on how to be focused on a daily meditation. I wrote an ebook back in 2016 called How to Use the Power of Your Mind. There's also a course, a video course on here that I sell for $97. It's free. I sell these for $20. And what it is a way for you to take this home, download it, look at the videos and practice. However, I'm giving this away to the person who can tell me what was the date that I talked to my Uncle Vic back at that Christmas party.
1972.
You said it first?
No, I didn't.
You said it first? You have a mask on, so I don't know what you said.
I did.
You did, that's yours, that's yours. There you go.
I think it was 1970.
So I only have a couple. If you'd like one, they're $20. It has all the information as far as downloads, ebooks, presentations, and a video course, and it's only $20. Any other questions?
So the fella that taught you about your not subconscious, the fella, Kenton, he told you, can you keep a secret?
Yes.
So how did you get past that to tell other people?
Well, I don't tell other people, and the reason why, and I asked him, why is this a secret? He said, because most people will not take this information seriously. That's the reason it's a secret. However, you came, it's an hour, you signed up, you've been here, people who paid me to come, I tell them what I learned. But I don't tell this to my family, I don't tell this to my friends, I don't share this information with people publicly, because most people, number one, will not do it. Second of all, most people will poo-poo it as just superstition. However, I know it's worked for Kenton, and it's definitely worked for me. So it's a secret because most people can't or will not use the information. But I hope that you will. I really do hope that you will.
Can I ask you
Yes.
why you gave Lauren a card?
She got a card, you got
To
a card.
circle the time, and you put it in your wallet.
What's that? Oh, just so she would write it down. She has to commit, yeah.
Oh.
So my mom, when I was a kid, I have her diaries and different things, Bibles and notepads. She would constantly write things down like joy, love, and doodle. Writing things down is absolutely important. So this is what I wrote on there. I said, circle a number, you can actually keep it. And what did you write down? You had 7 there. So yeah, you can keep that. It's just, journaling is really important, and I don't know if this is the question that you're asking, but one of the things that I started back in 2009 is I started journaling, writing down 5 things every single day that I'm grateful for. And I've been doing this so many years that I have these books of journals, and at the end of the year I take a look at all the things that I've written down. It's amazing. Number one, it's amazing to see the patterns, because these patterns are repeating, but it's also amazing to see the direction of your life. If you don't write things down, you don't see it. But when you write things down, it's like having children. You have a little kid, and people come and say, my gosh, you got so big. You don't notice it because you're so close to it. But when you step away or when you write things down, you see the patterns. So that's one of the reasons why we do that. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
That kind of goes along with what, I think it goes along with what you've been talking about. And that is, I know for a fact that you drove here. And
Yes.
you drove a distance.
I drove 4 hours.
And I know for a fact that we were up front with you about the fact that we didn't know how many people would show.
Sure.
So you came into an unknown.
Yes.
Now, how did you prepare yourself, using the things you've shared, on your way here in that 4-hour drive?
Mm-hmm.
How did you prepare yourself, not knowing,
Right. Who would show
but
up?
investing your time, your energy, etc., into this? Yeah. And in your happy circle or your sad circle,
Yes,
what
yes.
number? How did it go for you?
So what I'm sharing with you is what I practice in my own life. There's no disconnect. So back in the year, I think it was 2016, I was asked by a church group to put on a lecture, and it was called The Magic of Communication. What I did is I had 12 different tricks, and the lecture was really well received. And it started me thinking about the process of sharing information about communication. And really the focus was, how do we communicate with ourselves? That's really key. Over the last few years and into COVID, that whole thing changed from the magic of communication to the importance of focus. It has been a process. It didn't just happen overnight. It took me 5 years. Actually, this is my 6th year. So what happens is, before a lecture, I visualize the group that shows up. I also visualize everything that I'm doing. I know that I'm going to come out here and I'm going to speak about the premise here. I know that I'm going to go over here and I'm going to talk about my uncle and the 3 people that he introduced me to. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to talk about Kenton. So in my mind, I've mapped it out. And it's become a habit so that I can just share this from my heart. I'm basically telling stories. So I'm using what I'm teaching you, what I see, what I feel, and what I hear, to bring a presentation to folks so that they can take it home and actually change their own life. So yeah, I'm actually practicing it, so if that makes any sense. And I've been at some libraries, there's been 15 people and 10 people on Zoom. I've been at some libraries, there's been 3 people. Last night or 2 nights ago, I showed up at a library and there was 3 people, and we had to make a few changes for the ending. And I do have an ending I want to share with you. But we couldn't do exactly what we could do tonight because there's more people here. So, but you never know. Stepping into the unknown, it's part of life. And I think the reason why most people don't do it is they want to stay comfortable. So the 45 to 65,000 thoughts, 90% of it are the same, 43 to 48 as far as thinking, feeling, and all this. I think the reason why we do this, and I speak about myself, is we just want to be comfortable. We don't like change. We don't like things that are uncomfortable. We don't like the unknown. But as many of us know, in the last couple of years, we've had to face a lot of unknowns. We had to wear masks, we had to cleanse, we had to be separate, we had to do different things. So we had to face a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of people, because of it, got distracted. So I think what happened in the last couple of years, especially around COVID, is I went from the magic of communication to the importance of focus. So hopefully that's answered your question.
It has. If you have time.
Yes.
One thing that would interest me, since I was a part of organizing this and making the choice to invite Greg to come, would be when I've been in a group setting and we're studying something, learning something, I ask myself the question, what's my takeaway?
Yes, what is your takeaway? I'd love to know.
What is my takeaway tonight?
What is your takeaway tonight?
Because usually you're not able to carry much out. There needs to be one thing at least. And
yes.
I would like to hear what people might say if you feel you can share it. What would be your takeaway? Is there something here that you find you would like to use? You think you'd like to put it into practice?
What's your takeaway?
I would, the 5 grateful things.
Oh, yes.
I actually was doing that for a while after I listened to a book on tape from the library, and I haven't been doing it, but I would do it on my way to work, and I would just say it out loud.
Yes.
But also the everyday focus a little bit on what I want, how I want to change my life. So.
Right. Yeah. Everybody takes different things away. My focus in the presentation is letting folks know that getting focused is easy. Staying focused is difficult. The traditional way of staying focused and getting focused sets people up for failure. And my 3 points are, number 1, the unconscious mind, or I should say the conscious mind, is easily distracted. So if you're going to focus all of your attention on your conscious mind to try to change, you're not going to make it. You need to step in the center and realize that your unconscious is conditioned, and it's the thing that's running the show. It's really what's running the show. Think of an elephant and a small little guy on top of the elephant, and he's trying to direct the elephant. Well, the elephant is the unconscious mind. And it's until you can condition and tame that unconscious mind for what you want by reflection, nothing will change. Because you'll go back to the 45 to 65,000 thoughts every single day. 43 to 48% of them will be the same. And you'll be watching Groundhog Day on February 2nd. Okay, since you're hosting, can you come on up and sit right here? Thank you very much. You can leave your mask, that would be fine. And let me see, who wants to help me? You want to help me? All right, come on up. You haven't helped me. Have a seat right here. All right, one of you is going to be the sender and the other one is going to be the receiver. Sender and receiver. So I'm going to write something down. Now you both can read. You have glasses on. You can see. Okay, we're all right with that. So one of you is going to be a sender. And it's pretty simple. I'm going to write down sender and receiver. And when you understand the directions, just fold the card. That is an indication that I know that you are the sender or you are the receiver, and that the directions are very clear. You know exactly, and you're not to say anything because we're going to do this without saying a word. I'm going to mix these up. And keep this to yourself. If you could just read that to yourself, make sure you understand that. Read that to yourself, make sure you understand that you're absolutely clear about the directions. There's no doubt that you know the word. I want you to focus on the word. It's one word. It's not two words. It's not three words. It's not a paragraph. It's not a book. It's a word. And when you're consciously and unconsciously aware of that, just fold the piece of paper in half. So I know that you're
I wonder
clear.
if I have a question.
Oh, no, you're going to have to switch out with somebody else then. So it's very clear. It's very clear. We talked, you wrote, you're seeing, you're reading. Communication is very clear. Do you have it, my friend? Yes? Are you good? All right, now close your eyes. I'm going to count you down from 50 to 40 to 30 to 20 to 10. And I want you to see the word, like, in other words, the letters. I want you to spell it out in your mind. See it like you're looking at a chalkboard. The chalkboard is black. There's white chalk on the board. You're visualizing. What Kenton shared with me is people who are successful, they know how to condition their unconscious mind by what they see. So I want you to bring this word into clear focus. There's no doubt about this word. You know this word. This word is important to you. You are sending and you are receiving this important word right now. Now I'm going to count from 3 to 2 and then I'm going to get to 1. When I get to 1, I want you to say this word out loud with great certainty, with no apprehension. 3, 2, 1. Say it.
Eternity.
Okay, give him a hand. Don't move, but give him a hand. I think that was great. All right. So, now I'd like you to close your eyes and keep them closed the whole time. Keep them closed the whole time. Trust me, I will not humiliate you. I will not embarrass you. This will be very relaxing. Very relaxing. A 100. 90. 80. Just want to make sure your eyes are closed. So just relax. Just listen to my voice and my voice alone. I just want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I just want you to be relaxed. This is going to be enjoyable. It's going to be fun. You're going to be able to teach people about connection. Because when you reflect, you connect about what's important. About things that are important like eternity or like God. 70. I want you to be aware of everything you feel. Every color you experience, any sensation that you have in your body as you are using your imagination. This is the key. You want to be very aware of what you feel and what you see and what you hear. As we talked about the 3 modalities, what we see and what we feel and what we hear. So I think I'm at 60, now I'm at 50. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just relax and think about the word eternity. 40, 30, 20, 10. I can see that you're relaxed. 9, 8, 7. Oh, that number 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, Now, if you felt a tap or tap, raise your right hand now. Thank you. Put it down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Point into the direction that you felt those taps. Point with your finger at the direction that this came to you. Go ahead, do it now. Good. Put your hands down. Take a deep breath in and out. Indicate with your right hand, how many times you felt the taps. Do that now. Put your hands down. Now I'm going to count from 10 to 1, and when I get to 1, open your eyes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. So this is yours. There's a die in there. Hold it thing. So take a look at that and shake it up. Keep your eyes open. In a minute I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and put your fingers in your ear, but not now. So take a look at the number. What is it? Yes? What is it? Yes?
2.
2. Shake it again. What is it now?
3.
Good. Put your hand on top. Shake it again. And then take a look. What is it?
2.
Good. Now, change it to something else. Make it a 6. Make it a 5. Let's see if you can get it there. What do you got?
5.
Good. Now you got a 5. Now shake it one more time. Put your hand on top so that you can really get it going. All right, shake it again, shake it again. And what number is it now?
5.
Okay, good. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you have a favorite number? Don't tell me what it is, but out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do you have a favorite? If not, just shake it one more time. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Take a look at it, but don't show anybody and don't tell anybody. In a moment, you'll close your eyes and you'll put your fingers in your ears. Do you like what you have? Put your hand on top so that nobody can see what's there. Nobody at all. You know. Now you're the sender. She's the receiver. At this point, put your fingers in your ears and close your eyes and just focus. I want you to focus right here. And it's possible that you may hear something and some kind of communication. When it comes to you, just nod your head. All right, so she's nodded her head. So you can take your hands out. I'd like you to tell the number first. Go ahead.
6.
What do you got?
6.
Oh, yeah.
Margaret, is that a 6? That's a 6. Give him a hand. Thank you. You can both sit down. Thank you so
I want
much.
to know how he got that word.
Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. So I would be amiss if I didn't end with this. And this is the reason why I'm here tonight. The year was 1972, and I keep this quarter with me at all times, 1972. This is not the original, but it reminds me of the event of 1972 at my grandfather's, when Uncle Vic did this. Now I want to remind you that the conscious mind is easily distracted, but successful people know how to condition the unconscious mind by reflection. Thank you.